What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hope you like this video. This is Southern Charm New Orleans season 2, episode 3. Excuse me. So the episode picks up the day after Reagan's party last night, and we have Reagan, um, Tamika, and their friend, the one that's married to the other Saints player. I forget her name. And they're sitting around talking, and of course, Tamika, this is my first time coming to her house, and it looks just like the old house, and all she did was buy the same stuff over again. It looks like the same house, and you know they ended up having a conversation about the party. Everything went well with the party and all that good stuff. Two things: one, they asked her about Kelsey. Tamika, why do you give Kelsey such a hard time? Why don't you like Kelsey? I like Kelsey. She's just doing the most. She just does too much. What is it that she's doing, Tamika? Like, I do think that Kelsey made a few inappropriate comments at the party, but I don't think it was that deep. Like, if for you to act the way you acted, like, you were really rude to her. And Reagan was trying to say, look, what is your issue? Like, you really do too much with Kelsey. And of course, Tamika doesn't see it that way. She don't see that it's a problem. Because Tamika's attitude is, one, she ain't gonna be around long. He don't want to marry her, and two, I feel like she's just trying to get in with me or get in good with the crowd, thinking that's gonna keep her with Justin. I think she just wants you to stop being rude to her ass. But anyway, so then um they get into the whole, because Tamika keeps dropping these hints because everybody knows Reagan's pregnant. She's not drinking, whatever. So Tamika keeps dropping these hints about, oh, it was like almost like you had a baby last night. It was almost like you birthed a baby. Because Reagan said, I've been working on this for 9 months. And Reagan was kind of like, yeah, okay. Like, I know she knew what Tamika was doing, right? So then they get into the whole conversation about Reagan acting like everything is okay. Just, you're in your own little world, like everything is okay. And Reagan's like, everything is okay. And Tamika was like, why don't you just stop playing? Like, be real with us. Like, we're your girls. Be real. Like, I'm your best friend. You need to let me know what's going on. And Reagan is like, why do you keep pressuring me? I don't want to talk about it. It happened. It's over. I've moved on. And my thing is, here's my issue with that. Reagan is one of those people. First of all, Reagan is a simpleton. And I hate to say it like that, but I'll get to that in a minute. But Reagan's one of those people that's like, it happened, I'm over it. And because I'm over it, everybody's supposed to be over it. And she said it in a tweet. Earlier this week, she said in a tweet, basically she was responding to the criticism she was getting about moving on so fast. And she was like, I don't like to be alone. And when I saw that, I was like, ding, 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 ding. That's what this is about. At the end of the day, that's what this is about. You don't like to be alone. And yes, you've known Reese. Reese isn't somebody that fell out the sky. You already had an established relationship with Reese, and I honestly don't think Reese ever went anywhere. Personally, I think it was just to me, it was just way too easy and convenient for y'all to pick right on up and play house. I don't think he ever went nowhere, but neither here nor there. So, um, Breaking and Tamika really kind of get into it, because and then the other friend was like, I think what it is that we just never saw you grieve. I did grieve. I grieved privately. It was gut wrenching. I did, but I think that's what it really boils down to, is nobody really saw that process. Now, on the flip side, Tamika, she doesn't owe you that. Just because she's your friend and she's your best friend, it doesn't mean she owes you that conversation. She doesn't owe it to you to tell you everything, and her deepest darker secret. Like, that's not her. She doesn't owe you that. Like, people can be friends and can even be best friends and not tell everybody everything. Like, it doesn't automatically mean you're going to tell me everything because we're best friends. I mean, it just doesn't always happen that way. So they kind of got into it, and Tamika was like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm over it, and I'm done. Jeff and John Moody had play basketball. Two things come out of this conversation. One, John is gonna keep getting Jeff a makeover, because he was like, Jeff, you need to find you a woman, you need to start dating, so we did the appearance, now we're gonna work on the wardrobe. And Jeff really got into how controlling Reagan actually was in their marriage, and how, she controlled so much and she treated him a certain way. And they showed a couple of clips that kind of alluded to that. So then John John is a lot of things. He's arrogant and all these other things. But one thing he said I thought was really valid. John said, "Why are you holding on so hard to Reagan? Like, let it go. Why are you holding on so hard?" And Jeff's thing is, I don't have anybody else. You know, I don't have any family here. I don't have anybody else. And John was like, "You got me. Like, I got your back. You don't need to hold on to Reagan because you're afraid that you're going to be alone and be by yourself. You have other friends, you have other people, and you got to just move on. You have to just sort of expunge yourself and just move on." And I thought that was some really good advice. And I thought that was really honest of Jeff to say, "I'm holding on because I'm afraid that I don't have anything outside of her." Um, that's fair. That's very, very fair. Um, and I wonder if he wasn't doing this show, if he would have left New Orleans. I wonder. I don't know if he would or wouldn't, but I just wonder. So Reagan and Kelsey, is that the next scene? Yeah, I think so. Reagan and Kelsey. Okay, but before we get there, they show Reese at the farm. This I can't. I really don't. I really don't like that man. They show him he is in a stall peeing, comes out the stall, picks up a drink, and keeps on moving. So one, that's nasty as fuck. That you just peeing in the stall, the horse stall. You couldn't go to the bathroom. That's just nasty. Two, clearly you didn't wash your damn hands. Three, you drinking. So you just in the middle of the day got a cocktail. He's just simple as hell. Anyway, and I just don't understand. So we have a scene where Reagan and Kelsey end up going to lunch. And basically, Kelsey was like, "Look, I don't want to put you in the middle. I don't want to cause any problems between you and Tamika. But what is it? Like what is the issue? She clearly does not like me. She gives me a hard time. What is it that I need to do? Because I don't want this. I don't want this animosity. I don't want these problems. What is it that I need to do?" And Reagan was like, "Look, me and Tamika are having our own little set of issues. I really don't know." And Kelsey was like, "Well, I'm having a housewarming, but I don't even know if I want that energy in my house. Like, why would I invite her to my home and for her to disrespect me or for her to give me a hard time? Like, why would I do that?" And Reagan was like, "Look, you just gotta let Tamika know. You just gotta talk to Tamika and let her know, and you can't basically, you got to stand up to her. You have to just stand up to her and stand in your ground. And maybe inviting her to the party isn't a bad idea. Like, you can invite her to the party, but at the end of the day, I don't know. I don't have any great advice because me and Tamika aren't in a good place. But Kelsey definitely wants to try to, resolve something because she's like, this is just, I have a problem with this. Like, why do we I don't understand why she treats me that way, and I'm not going to keep dealing with it. Kelsey is not a very aggressive person. I mean, she ain't aggressive with Justin, so she damn sure not going to be aggressive with Tamika. But it's interesting that she wants to try to resolve the issue. Um, Tamika and Barry have a staycation. Really, the only thing that comes out of that is things are getting better between Barry and Tamika. She really took to heart what it was he said about her doing more with the family and slowing things down. Um, and they've really sort of reconnected and are in a really, really good place romantically and with their relationship. Let me say this about Southern Charm. Why the fuck we gotta keep looking at people's asses? We done seen Reese's ass. We done seen Jeff's ass. Now this episode we had to see Barry's ass. Now, granted, Barry has a beautiful body. I'm not complaining about it. I'm just trying to figure out why. Why every episode we gotta see somebody's ass? I'm just wondering. But neither here nor there. Tamika also looks like Barry and his son may be having some growing problems. And Tamika was like, "You need to talk to him. Like, you need to go spend some time with him because before you know it, he's gonna be gone." She said, "And you really need to have the." He was saying, "I need to have the um father son conversation, like the man conversation." And Tamika's like, "You need to have the get pulled over by the police conversation," which is valid. Sad, but true. As a black man in America, that is a conversation you need to have with your son, especially since he's going to probably be driving a high end car or a really nice car and living in a really nice neighborhood. Unfortunately, That's what comes along with it. It's sad, but it is true. Um, John and Jeff have a makeover. No big deal. They just buying clothes. John and his special self. John is a mess. Anyway, um, and then we see Reagan go out to the farm to meet up with Reese, and he's telling her that he's planning. They're doing a stud party or whatever. It's like a big deal, and it's like a party, but it's basically the studs on parade type of thing. And Reese starts talking about how, he let the best thing slip past him when him and Reagan were together before, and he spent the last 10 years regretting it. And, he knows he loves her and wants to be with her, and he's not going to let it go. And he went and talked to Reagan's mom and got her, basically got her blessing and got the grandmother's ring, which I thought was also very interesting. So Jeff didn't get the ring. What does that tell you? So while they're there, he sneaks out and he's throwing rose petals all around and all of that. And then he brings Reagan out and he proposes to her. Now, mind you, Jeff had said early on that their divorce had only been finalized like 2 days earlier. So technically, you only been divorced for 2 days. And of course, Reese says yes. And she says, "Oh, you have my grandmother's ring." And I'm like, you know what? Ain't nobody gonna convince me that they just ain't nobody gonna convince me that they ain't been in touch with each other these last 10 years. Ain't nobody gonna convince me that it ain't been more going on behind the scenes. Ain't nobody gonna convince me of that. This is way too much too soon. I'm sorry. But I do know people like Reagan who just can't be alone. Just can't be alone. And Reagan seems like that's part of it, that she just can't be alone. So anyway, Tamika's cousin John sets up a meetup with Kelsey. And they have a conversation. And basically Kelsey is like, "What is it about me that you don't like? Like, why don't you like me? Like, what is the issue?" And, Tamika, I still didn't really get any sort of resolution in that conversation. I mean, basically, Tamika was just like, sometimes I just think you do too much, and it's not that I don't like you. I just, I don't know. We just need to find a way to get to come meet up at the same place and meet up in the middle somewhere. I don't know what the issue is with us, but I don't dislike you. Yes, you do. And see, my thing is, Tamika, then was the time to say to her, "Look, I wasn't allowing myself to get too close to you because I didn't think you were going to be around that long. But now that you are, let's work on our friendship." Because that's really what it boils down to. And you don't respect her because you feel like she's allowing Justin to dictate the relationship and she wants more and she's not being aggressive or assertive enough. Like, that's what it boils down to. But you ain't say all of that. But you're going to be in your confessionals and going to continue to be shady in your confessionals. But when you had an opportunity to say it to Kelsey's face, you didn't say it. And at the end of the day, I don't feel like they really had a resolution to the problem. And, Kelsey ended up inviting her to the party, but Kelsey was like, "Look, but what I don't want is for you to be up in my house and be disrespectful. Like, I was hesitant about inviting you because I was just worried about, how you were going to come up in my house." But I really don't feel like they had this conversation, but I don't feel like there was really anything at the end of it other than Tamika saying, "Well, I guess we need to figure out a way to sort of just kind of meet in the middle." But Tamika was still rude even in that conversation. She was like, "Well, I feel like you didn't like me and you didn't really care." And she was like, "I probably didn't." Tamika. So this whole Tamika 2.0, as far as your family is concerned, but as far as people concerned, you still being just as, disrespectful and short and rude as you were before. So anyway, okay, here comes the worst scene of the episode, the most uncomfortable to watch. I felt so bad for Jeff in this moment. Reagan calls Jeff to meet up for lunch or coffee or whatever. And Reagan proceeds to tell Jeff that her and Reese were getting married, that he proposed and she said yes. Either Reagan has got to be the most clueless person in the world or she's the most narcissistic in the world. But it was so clear that Jeff was upset in that moment, and Jeff was really having a hard time processing. And I mean, he ended up, congratulating her and giving her a hug and everything. She's like, "You're okay, right? I mean, it's cool, right? I mean, it's great, right? I mean, you're okay, right?" And it's clear that he wasn't. And I appreciate that she told him, because her thing was, I didn't want him to hear it on the street from somebody else. That was a great move, and I respect that. But just the awkwardness of it, because you could see that Jeff was really upset. Like, you could see it bothered him. And in his confessional, he was like, "I just think they're making a mistake. Like, what is the rush? Like, what? Why they're moving really fast? You know what I mean? Like, they're really making a mistake." Um, but Reagan is just, in that moment, I was like, "You've got to be the most self-centered, selfish, ditzy simpleton I have ever seen." I could not, I just could not believe. Just, I just, I felt so bad for Jeff in that moment. I just did. Um, Then Reagan goes home and she tells Reese about it. And Reese is sort of pissed off. Reese is like, "Look, at what point do you cut the strings? Like, me and you are getting married. You're not with him anymore. Y'all," he was like, "I've been playing second fiddle for a year." He said for a year. He said they had been dating for a year. Now remember, Reagan said 6 months. At the beginning of the season, she said it's been 6 months. But now he said it's been a year. Maybe my timing is off. I know y'all will correct me in the comments. But he said, when her brother got married, I couldn't go to the wedding because Jeff was going to be there. Even my friends are like, "Why do you still let her hang out with her ex-husband?" What he was like, and the divorce is final now. So at what point is it just me and you? And again, I understood where he was coming from, but then he started going hitting below the belt. He was like, "I'm doing real work here. I'm handling real business. I'm not just selling jewelry." I was like, "Okay, here we go. Tell us how you really feel. Tell us how you really feel." And that's when Reagan was like, "You know what? I'm not doing this with you right now." She sort of walked off. But I was like, "Uh-huh." Talking about something, I'm doing real work here. I'm dealing with animals. I'm dealing with grown animals, and you're just selling jewelry. Hmm. So you really feel, huh? Okay. So it's Halloween in the French Quarter, and they're all getting together to celebrate Halloween, and they go into a haunted house. And Reagan and Reese, he apologizes and everything, but Reagan and Reese are there. Cleopatra and Mark Antony. I'm not even gonna say nothing about her being Cleopatra. I'm gonna leave that one right there. Um, Justin and Kelsey are ninjas. Um, Tamika and Barry are the voodoo priest and king and queen. Rachel, that's her name. Rachel and Michael show up. They're a king and queen. I think that's all who was there. So Reagan says, "Hey, before we go into this haunted house, let me share some." Oh, and Jeff shows up. That damn John Moody showed up as Richard Simmons with some short shorts on and a curly wig. Honey, you can't do nothing but laugh at John. That's all. You can't even be mad at John Moody crazy ass. Um, but Jeff shows up as a gladiator. And Reagan makes her big announcement. She said, "I want you guys to know I've already told Jeff, but now I can tell you guys, Reese and I are getting married." You could hear a pin drop. Everybody was just kind of like, "Man." And finally, Rachel was like, "Well, I want to congratulate you." So then everybody was kind of like, "Oh, yeah, congratulations, congratulations." And of course, Tamika is like, "Bitch, what? You doing what?" So, honey, I'm sure next week, um, Tamika gonna have a whole lot to say about this situation, okay? But that was pretty much where the episode ended, honey. Y'all let me know. I cannot. This situation with Reagan and Reese is just ridiculous to me. And you know how some things with like reality shows, the storyline is fake, um, but you it's like, okay, I know they throwing a little bullshit in the sauce or whatever. But the sad thing is that this is not fake. Like, this could be a fake storyline, but it's not fake. I mean, if you follow on social media, this is really what's going on with Reagan. She just had the baby. This is ridiculous. Honey, I just feel for Jeff. Jeff need to get the hell out of New Orleans. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments.